G'day, everybody. Welcome back to the Ball Logic NBA SuperCoach podcast. I'm your host, Braino, joined in the studio, as always, by Horse and Mattrix. And I tell you what, looking at some rankings and some scores here, one man sits second. The other one sits without a clown week, Mattrix. Is that 3 weeks in a row now?
It's still in the box. Also, I know that Horse doesn't have one, so you get onto Amazon, champ. But mine is in the box at home. I'm still moving. I'm still not in my studio. I'm still at the in-laws. I'm homeless.
Is that he's just trying to build it up, Horse, so that everyone feels sorry for him after he ends up having to wear the clown wig 3 weeks in a row?
Do not feel sorry for him one little bit.
To be fair, he took it. You won last week, didn't you? You had the crown, and he let everyone know about it. So he had his moment in the sun last week, and now look at him. He's clowning away over there.
He got fucking dehydrated. Too much time in the sun. Now he's back in the shade.
That's all right. It's a funny game, SuperCoach. I reckon there's vodka in that. It's definitely a tricky game. We've seen swings left, right, and centre this week. You know, we'll talk about a lot of that on the show, guys, but that's why you're here. You're here to watch the preview for week 5 of NBA SuperCoach. We'll bring you that, and we'll bring you plenty more. Before we do, hit the thumbs up. Give us a bit of a like there to support the show. We would appreciate that. And for those of you that want a little bit more from us, make sure you get the notification. Turn that little bell on so that you get all of our shows straight to your notifications. And if you're listening on audio, hit the follow button. Leave us a 5-star review if you like the content. Everyone in the comments starting to drop their scores. Make sure you let us know how you went as well, because we saw some big scores over this week. So drop them in. Let us know. Have a brag or commiserations with your friends there in the comments. And guys, we should have a chat about the standard squeeze winner of this week. Squeeze of the week. It's Yorkies Yetis by Daniel. So Daniel, hop in our DMs wherever you follow us, mate, because you've won the standard squeeze of the week. That takes you into 48th overall. And 1193 was the score. So an absolute monster this week. Well done to Daniel. He had, just looking at his team here, had James Harden. I tell you what, he had Mattrix's call on Grayson Allen. That could have been so much better. Imagine how much more he would have scored if Grayson Allen didn't have to sit the last couple of games, Matty.
Yeah, he's obviously a big friend and fan of the show. Huge Grayson guy. But yeah, look, just what could have been. Now I'm back to being a Colin Gillespie guy.
It's a rough time being a Colin Gillespie guy, let me tell you that. He had Wemby, he had the captaincy on Jokic, and he had Giannis, Avdija, Con Knipple, and Cooper Flagg. So look, a very solid team there from Daniel. Congrats, mate. Make sure to send us a message wherever you follow us, and we'll sort out your standard squeeze price pack. Congrats on taking out the week. Horse, how'd you go, mate? How'd the weekend up? Because you're coming into what, 54th, 56th?
56th, yeah. Haven't been this high before. I know NBA SuperCoach has only been a 1 month.
Too many doobies.
I was going to say, how about your rank?
Yeah, rank's doing okay. Matrix wouldn't know, so you can just ignore him for now. But yeah, it's good. I obviously took a risk captaining Jokic on a 3-game week, but it seemed to work. My play of Jalen Tyson on court didn't work out so much, so I ended up having to take Cedric Coward's 40. But that's okay. We move on, and we've got some pretty big trade plans for this week. So if you're within the Patreon, you'll see my trades a little bit later on tonight, but they are basically finalised now, and we might be pumping a bit of a boost this week.
Oi, another boost. Love it. Matty, how'd you go, mate? 1098 by no means is a bad score. We're just all fucking really good at this game.
Yeah, I think I was about 600th overall for the week. I was pretty happy. Yeah, just a couple things. Like I was soaring. I had Grayson for his 42-point outburst. I had Wemby, and then obviously I anticipated 4 games from Wemby. So like even a 30 and that would have been doubled would have just skyrocketed everybody up. But yeah, look, you can't account for injuries and shit happens. But yeah, look, honestly, really happy with my 1098 this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So you should be. 1143 for me. I feel like James Harden might have been the difference for me. I took a punt on him as a bit of a pod 2 weeks ago, and that paid dividends this week for sure. He was fantastic, and it also helps no Bradley Beal, no Kawhi, so he's just basically got to do everything. And I think he had 2 triple doubles and a near triple double today, 37 points, 9 boards, 8 assists. Like he's just doing everything there. So he'll be a guy that I'm sure people are going to be looking at bringing in for this week, considering the Clippers are still on a 4-game week. So yeah, lots of chat around that. But yeah, I ended up captaining Wemby, and it's one of those weeks where what could have been. And I know, Matty, you're probably the same here. Horse would have had the old clown wig on this week if Wemby played that last game. So a little bit of a kiss on the wee there for the Horse. Saved himself one clown wig at least.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't help good luck, can you?
You can't. You got to ride it when you get it. It's one of those years, Horse. Maybe luck's on your side.
Well, you know what they say, Braino. If someone tries to piss in your pocket, change your pants.
Yeah, that's a popular saying around the internet these days. I don't know whether it's relevant to what we just said, but
no, it absolutely isn't.
We'll go with it anyway. That's good. That's good from you. All right, let's get into the stuff that really matters. Let's have a chat, shall we, about who was hot.
This is why I'm hot.
One of my favourite stingers because it scares the shit out of people on audio. Sorry about the loudness, but it's good fun. Nikola Jokic, he's a man, 165 on a 3-game week. This is just one of those things where you look at it and you just shake your head and you go, this guy's a freak. Automatic captaincy option every week now. Moving forward, Horse, like you had the captaincy on him this week, and it was the safe play, but it ended up being the best play for the week.
I'd argue a little bit with it being the safe play because, yeah, it's Jokic and he's the best player in the game when we're talking SuperCoach. But I guess it was a little bit risky that he's playing one game less than everyone else. So the risk was that I was backing him in to score more than what other primos would score on a 4-game week. And as luck would have it, it did work. But I think moving forward, unless something absolutely extraordinary happens, he's going to be your captain option week to week.
Which makes the game so boring, doesn't it, Matty? Like, for me, I love variety. I love picking pods that can outdo other players. And it's just, Jokic is just so obvious. It's like in the NRL picking Nathan Cleary and Nico Hines a couple of years ago as a captain every single week. It just seems automatic at this point.
Yeah, and it's not like, you can bank on one of those bolters that might come out and just score immensely. Just with the way that he accumulates the rebounds, accumulates the assists, everything runs through him. Like we've even seen your Cameron Johnsons and your Christian Browns just being guys that you can't roster because Jokic just does fucking everything. I don't think I'll probably ever captain a guy on a 3-game week. Even Jokic, just because of the way that I play. But yeah, as we head into a 4-game week, it's like not even a discussion for me anymore.
Yeah. I'd say anybody who doesn't have him is, not really sitting that pretty in the rankings, but also you need to just get him in. If you don't have him and you care about whether you finish or whether you make cash in your league or whether you want to play catch up, he just needs to be in your team. So if he isn't, just make that trade. There's a few cheapies making some cash this week. We'll talk about a bit later too. Jalen Johnson, 162, went absolutely mega this week without Trae Young. Of course, we knew that he was capable of this, but he sat on a couple of back-to-backs, Horse. So of course this was, in the back of people's minds. I think there was a couple of people that might have even traded out Jalen Johnson because of that. So that would hurt, but moving forward, the Hawks have a nice little run of 4 games here. They play 14 games over the next 4 weeks, and that's the second most in the comp behind the Pelicans. So, he a target for you this week?
Absolutely, 100% is. Yep.
We'll talk about trade targets a little bit later. James Harden, 159. He was the 3rd highest scorer of the week. Again, we mentioned him before, but another option maybe is a 1-week play before the Clippers come into a 2-game week. So definitely worth having a look at James Harden this week. I don't think anything changes there. We haven't had any news on Kawhi. We'll talk injuries soon, but we haven't had any news on Kawhi yet around his ankle. And again, I'm sure they're treading cautiously over there, so worth keeping an eye out there on that. Larry Markkinen, 138, Mattrix. He seems to just continue to score points. There's not really much else going on, but he's putting up 30 to 35 a game.
Yeah, and a double overtime game today certainly helps. Always an opportunity. Always going to score high. I am scared that the highs are high and the lows are lows. That's why he was, $10.8 million to start the year. So,
yeah, for sure. And Luka Doncic, 133 this week on a 3-game week. So, no, it was a 4-game week, wasn't it? Did he miss one? I don't think he missed one. Did he? He played all 4?
It's a 4-game week. Yeah.
133 for him. He was Luka. He just did Luka things. Comes into a 2-game week this week though, so I assume a lot of people are going to be pivoting off Luka and going to a Shea or maybe a pod in Scotty Barnes, Josh Giddey, who I'm sure we'll be talking about a little bit later on. Let's have a chat about who was ice cold. I don't have the soundbite, Horse, for the get that garbage out of here, but he could qualify. Josh Minot, couldn't he?
Oh, he was, and he's lost his starting spot. So if anyone's got him, you got to get rid of him. He is absolutely done.
Who's the? Who's getting the starting minutes for him?
Jordan Walsh.
Option this week?
Yeah, he's pretty cheap too.
Yeah, yeah. I like others, but he's definitely an option. Yes,
I think that it's the lack of scoring for me for Jordan Walsh that concerns me more than anything. Like he's so good for fantasy. Like he's getting like a couple of steals and a block, and field goal percentage is pretty good. It's just he's not really scoring the ball. Like he'll get you 6 boards. He'll get you a Draymond Green stat line, and that's not for SuperCoach. It's not overly appealing. But again, there are a couple of other guys I'd prefer, but still a decent option. Jalen Tyson, he got knocked out. He is in the concussion protocol. He ended up with 19 last week. Actually ended up being a pretty good pick after game 1 anyway, because if he went and scored 19 over 4 games, he gets you, 76 if my maths is good.
Does.
So would have been a decent little pickup there. But luckily we've got flex, and I'm sure the flex dropped out for anybody who was starting him this week with no Garland. So worked out well. Colin Murray-Boyle's Horse continues to do not much, which is a bit disappointing. But now that Yucca Purtle's back, it's pretty much irrelevant now for Colin Murray-Boyles.
Yeah, it is. And he's only really relevant when you've got Yucca Purtle on the sidelines. So Yucca Purtle playing, unfortunately, it's a no-go for Murray-Boyles.
How about the fourth man on this list, Mattrix, is VJ Edgecombe. We'll call him cold because he got 26 points in 2 games, which is what we would consider to be understandard maybe for what he has started with anyway. Comes into another 4-game week. Now, we said last week that you could sell him and then make the decision to jump back on. Are you tempted to jump back on knowing what he can do, or is it now just a matter of chasing that cash elsewhere?
Yeah, I think with a break-even of 45 and him coming into a 4-game week, I never traded him, so I actually still have him. I was actually kind of surprised to see him in the most traded out this week when I looked down the little categories in SuperCoach because I really thought of him more of a guy that you'd bring back in. I know that he had a couple of rough games, but yeah, look, even if he's scoring 13s all the way through, he's still going to make a bit of cash. He's not that guy, I don't think. I think just shooter's going to shoot. Had a rough week. Comes back into a 4-game week, you're going to back him to go off in one of those. For sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. If you want to target him again this week, not a bad shout. I won't talk anyone out of it. And Paolo Banchero, he has gone down with, is it a groin, Horse, that he's gone down with?
It is, yep. He'll be out for the next week. So a cheeky little shout to Tristan Da Silva. I'm just going to check now what his price is at, but he seems to be getting some good burn. 6.6 mil. He scored 58 last week, a break even of 30. So you're not really going to make too much cash, but I don't mind his role at Orlando at the moment.
My only concern with Orlando's schedule over the next 4 weeks, it's 4-2, 4-2. And it's super awkward where, like, you play him on the 4s, of course, and Tristan Da Silva isn't exactly a guy that you need to worry about playing because of his price point.
That's right.
But if you went and got Franz Wagner, who I'd probably prefer and could get the bump there, it kind of is a 1-week play. So
yeah, it's definitely a 1-week play. Yep.
Yeah, don't love it. Don't love it. All right, let's move into the injury report for this week. All right, we'll bring the injuries up on the screen for everybody to see them. There is plenty more, but relevant ones. Bradley Beal, he's out for the season. It looks like Bogdan Bogdanovic is getting the extra minutes there, and Chris Dunn, kind of shooting guard, point guard by committee. Mattrix, I guess, none of these guys relevant, but it just solidifies maybe James Harden's usage and James Harden's role and what he's going to have to do for this team with no Bradley Beal. I mean, Bradley Beal was shit anyway, but it just kind of makes it clearer now, that pathway.
Yeah, and I do think like the James Harden bump is more from Kawhi than it is Bradley Beal, but definitely Chris Dunn's bump, which isn't really SuperCoach relevant. I'm more looking at him in other formats, has been great. So I don't know, not too relevant for SuperCoach outside of, until Kawhi's back. Harden is going to go off like a frog in a sock.
Yes, absolutely. I hope he does. I've got him for one more week, and then I'm probably going to move him on when the Clippers go into a 2-game week. So 1 week play for James Harden this week. The other one, Tari Eason, he is out for 6 weeks, which is not good news for Houston. Again, you don't have him in SuperCoach, but, Horse, the benefit to Reed Shepherd now, who I'm sure will be one of the most purchased players this week with a negative 37 break even. If you started with Reed Shepherd, first of all, you know ball. And secondly, if you didn't start with him, does he become now a must-have with Tari Eason going down?
Did you hear that, Mattrix? Horse nose ball. Yes, you've got to get him. And minus 30 odd break even. You've got to grab him. You're going to make bulk cash out of him.
Not playable, of course, because they're on a 2-gamer.
2-game week.
But again, don't let that deter you because you need him on your bench. So yeah, he'll make good coin. Absolutely. But it makes it even better now, knowing that kind of 6-man role might sit in Reed Shepherd's hands, at least for a little bit, while Tari Eason's on the sidelines there. So good news there. All right, Darius Garland, he is out with another toe injury. TBC on the timeline, so to speak. But if we get any news that Jalen Tyson is going to be back, ideally, Matty, have we heard any update on when that concussion protocol ends for Jalen Tyson? Because he seems to be the one, doesn't he?
Not at all, but it's been, 3 days?
Longer than that, I thought.
No, it's been 5, I think.
Yeah, okay. You think that maybe he misses the next one?
Yeah, I reckon he misses one more and then he's back. Yeah.
So again, that kind of makes it hard to pick up Jalen Tyson this week. But yeah, definitely we'll keep an eye out on Darius Garland's injury timeline, and if he becomes out for maybe 2-3 weeks plus, then Jalen Tyson becomes a nice little 2-week play there because the Cavs have a decent schedule. Jalen Green out again, hammy again, and that just goes to show the kind of recurrence risk of hamstring and calf injuries. There's a couple of recurring injuries, 2 hamstrings I think from memory. Jalen Green was one of them, Mattrix puts up a post on Instagram saying pick up Grayson Allen, does it, looks like the GOAT, and then the bloke gets injured himself. So you can't really win on that one, Matty.
Nah, you can't. But anyway, look, Jalen's good.
That's good.
Jalen is good. He's going to be even better peeling the oranges for the next fucking 10 weeks. He's going to spend some time on the sidelines. Trae Young still probably another 2 weeks on the sideline, which is great for Jalen Johnson. Of course, I don't think it really matters too much if Trae Young is in or out of this team. JJ is the clear number 1 when Trae's not there, and he's the clear number 2 when Trae is there. I think that if anything, JJ still gets a bump, just in a bit of a different way from Trae being on the team. Trae is just like a defensive magnet, often gets doubled. It just opens up so many opportunities for cuts and so many opportunities for open threes on the perimeter. So Johnson, regardless of whether Trae's there or not, that doesn't affect how I feel about him as a purchase this week. I think he's good in both scenarios. So keep an eye on him and definitely proceed with plenty of confidence on Jalen Johnson. Jalen Williams, Horse, is out, but he's been out all season. We're talking about Jalen Williams, not Jalen. Now, he's been out with a hand injury since the preseason, but he's day-to-day now, which is good news for OKC. But who does this hurt?
I actually think it hurts SGA a little bit. Takes a bit of usage away from SGA. And when we look at the grand scheme of things, you've got Jalen Williams, you've got Hartenstein, you've got Holmgren, you've got SGA, and then who do you reckon, Matty? Lou Dort starts as well. So that's your starting 5. Yeah, and then you got Caruso's hurt at the moment. Cassim Wallace will still get some good burn off the bench. I think AJ Mitchell's still good in that 6-man role, but I'm just not sure when we're talking SuperCoach that AJ Mitchell's going to perform to his price value now, because we saw last year that when SGA rested, Jalen Williams would take on that point forward role and would run the offense. So just little concerns there for AJ Williams now.
Yeah, I would agree.
And
that's probably
Isaiah Joes and your Aaron Wiggins, which people seem to add those other weeks. So.
Yeah, good call. All of those fringe guys now cop a little bit of a hit, I think. But yeah, that's probably why I didn't go with AJ last week. Just that concern of J-Dub being close. So yeah, you've got to reassess how you're going to approach that now moving forward. A couple more injuries on the list here. We've got Anthony Davis. He is due to be back within the week, which is great for my fantasy team, considering he's my number one pick in a 20 team with no IR, and I've had to sit there with him the whole time. But, AD coming back into the team, I guess, does this hurt Cooper Flagg's output somewhat, Mattrix? Do you think this kind of hinders his scoring, or does it help it?
Oh, it does when it comes to like rebounds. Like Cooper's been getting 8 in that rebounds where Anthony Davis gobbles it all up. I think all your fantasy value or Supercoach value out of PJ definitely drops, but I think it does affect Cooper negatively. But not so much that you're panicking. You're still playing him every week, but he's just not going to get those rebounds.
And look, rebounds are fine, but you're picking him up and he gets the big Supercoach scores because of his points scored rather than you just accumulating rebounds and assists. That's not what he's there for. I think the stocks stay. I think he's a good enough defender to still find lane steals and things like that. He'll get a cheeky block or weak side block every now and again with AD in the paint. So, I don't think it hurts too much. And then the last one on the list is Jalen Brunson, horse. Miles McBride, Juice McBride gets the bump. Jordan Clarkson gets the bump there with him on the sideline. What was it? Crutches and moon boot. Didn't look too good.
No, it didn't. No, and there's still no word out of New York. I would say that a minimum he's probably going to miss the next couple of games as well. So, yeah, Supercoach wise, you're probably not picking up anyone. I had a sneaky look at Landry Shamet before. He's only 4.4 mil, but if his shot's off, then he's not scoring in any other way.
No, that's right. Of course, we didn't mention Wemby, who is very, very relevant in this format, especially Mattrix. What are your thoughts on him? Because, it's a calf injury. He did miss the last game today. Calf injuries are never good news, especially even just a niggly calf. It's like, is he going to start sitting on back-to-backs now? Are they going to start load managing him? It's a long season. They can't afford to have their big man go down on a ruptured fucking calf that puts him out for 12 weeks. Like, what do you think they do here, and what are you doing with him?
I don't know. Like he's heading into he's got an injury cloud and he is heading into a 3-game week. So I'm a little concerned. I wonder if they were playing somebody that wasn't Sacramento, which I believe that they think they would have handled. Maybe if it was a bigger game, maybe he would have played. I don't know. I'm just erring with caution at this stage. I don't want to put it out in the universe that, he's cooked or anything because they did say tightness of calf. It wasn't calf strains. It wasn't anything like that. I do think they will be careful with their best player, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him play most of the games next week. He definitely does not have a back-to-back this week. So he's got Grizzlies, Hawks, and Suns. So.
Yeah, good news from that perspective. Hopefully, you shouldn't need a rest if he's going to play. You should play all three. But proceed with caution on that. Mustard Custard in the chat. Any update on Stephon Castle? I think he went off with a hip injury. Was it
hip
today?
Injury? Nothing yet. I'll go digging now, see if I can find anything.
Yeah, cool, perfect. Sounds good. Let's have a chat about the schedule as well while we're here. Now, of course, the schedule is very important when it comes to SuperCoach, and back-to-backs not so much, except for the guys that may potentially rest, and there's plenty of news on that front. But the two teams to avoid this week, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets, both on a 2-game week this week. So Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, trade them, move them on. Too much money to have there. Houston Rockets, I can't imagine anyone has any playable Houston Rockets on.
I saw Amen on a few teams. So,
look, with the schedule going, 2-3-4-3-2 over the first 5 weeks, it made no sense to target anyone from the Rockets anyway. So if you have, we were talking on the fantasy preview earlier that the Rockets' schedule opens up from week 11. So from week 11 through to week 23, they only have 2 3-game weeks, and everything else is a 4-gamer from there. So the Rockets are going to be very relevant come week 11, but definitely just avoid until then, I would say. But Reed Shepherd's still a purchase. You just chuck him on your bench and don't have to play him on court, so you don't have to take his points. The relevant teams this week are the Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets, the Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, Miami Heat, the New Orleans Pelicans, OKC Thunder, Orlando Magic, Philly 76ers, Portland Trailblazers, and the Toronto Raptors. Every other team has a 3-gamer that wasn't mentioned. So that's on the screen there. Screenshot that if you don't have the schedule, or if you're in the Patreon, you'll get the full little graphic there that you can make as your phone screensaver. I know that, putting your family and your loved ones is just super overrated as a wallpaper on your phone. Put up the NBA SuperCoach Insight schedule. That's where it's at this year. But yeah, those are the teams to focus on, of course. Looking at the little runs of games as well. The Pels Mattrix are the team, aren't they? Pels and Raptors seem to be the teams that are, I think it's the Raptors play 15 games. They've got the most games over the next 4-week period. And then there's a few teams that have 14 games underneath them. Pelicans are one of them. Atlanta's another one. I think the Cavs might sit in that category as well. There's a fair few teams that are in a pretty good spot over the next month.
Yeah, I just struggle looking at the Pels, like with how bad they've been. Obviously, the firing of their coach during the week, to find people I really want until Zion's back, really. And then it's like, well, is he going to play back-to-backs? Probably not. But Toronto, I think that they're really shallow. I think that we can find some gold when it comes to Toronto, when it comes to 4-game weeks. So.
Completely agree. Yeah, very, very keen on a few of the Raptors, or at least a couple of the Raptors players who have shown us a bit of SuperCoach form, that's for sure. All right, let's move ourselves into the hot topics for the week. And as always, Hot Topics brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead. For those of you that have a rates above 5.4%, maybe you want to buy your new home, maybe you want to renovate or at least just save some cash, then Ryan's your guy, does all the heavy lifting, has over 40 lenders on panel, including all the major banks to get you the best deal. And the best part is absolutely no obligation. It doesn't cost you a cent. He gets paid by the bank, so he does all of the work for you. And you can book your free consult below. The link is in the description below there. Just let him know that we sent you over at Ball Logic, and he'll look after you. Now, the hot topic is more centered around points versus cash. Now, I'd love your kind of opinion first, Horse, as the leader here in 56 overall. What are your thoughts on points versus cash here? Like you're looking at fixing up your bench on weeks like this, or are you really looking at kind of like a Jalen Williams who's kind of stalling a little bit? He's not making us a ton of cash. There's a couple of other guys like Josh Minot. Are you focusing on getting these guys out for other cash gen options, or are you really focusing on doubling down on those points on court?
No, it's a little from column A and a little from column B. So I want to make sure that I'm playing with as many primos as I can on the court while getting my cash generation right as well. So for me, I've had Rollins for the majority of the year, thanks to you. You pointed him out early in the season. Both you and I, Braino, bought in. I think Matty did too. Bought in Concanipple last week, and he was really good. He looks like he's going to get some good burn there at Charlotte. So we can piggyback off these rookie-type players until they get to a price point. Like Ryan Rollins could be 10 mil in a couple of weeks. And that is music to our ears when we're talking cash gen. You got Jeremiah Fears, Reed Shepherd, all these guys who are slowly generating cash. I think it's just about getting the right cash generators on your bench versus the ones who are going to score the bulk points each week. It's a delicate balancing act, but yeah, if anyone's got the answer to how to do it properly, it's all our first year. So it's sort of a learn as you go type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very good Switzerland answer from you, Mattrix. I know you're a fucking straight shooter. Give it to me. What do you reckon? Are you going points or cash?
Look, loading up. Like if I have to play somebody that's going to make me a little bit extra cash, I will. Just knowing that it's a 20-week season. But yeah, like you've got to make sure you have your captain right, and you do have to make sure that you get your primos right. But I think, to second what Horse said, you just load up that bench with guys that are going to make cash. In which case, then, yeah, of course, you got to get out your 2-game weekers and, and make sure that you're playing some 4-game week guys. But yeah, if you can just spend one trade to tidy up a Josh Minot to somebody that's going to make some cash, I would implore you to find the spot. And if it means playing, I don't know, a 3-game week gun instead of a 4-game week gun, I think it's probably more important to trade out a Josh Minot to another cheapie that their cash hasn't stalled the way that his has.
I think we're all in a position where I don't think we've made enough cash to be able to play all of like a full team of players we're comfortable playing on court.
Absolutely not.
Some of us are going to play Cedric. I played Cedric Coward this week. Some of us are going to be playing Jeremiah Fears moving forward, Ryan Rollins, Concanipple. All these guys are going to need to be played on court. But at the same time, you can't have them all, right? But the only way you're going to get your end team to where you want it to be is if you focus on making money. At the same time, though, I would let a Josh Minot rot. I'd let a Jalen Williams rot on my bench and prioritize chasing points. More so because I think that at the moment I'm looking at it and I'm exactly 300 points behind you, Horse. And you can see, 300 points can be made up over a 4-week period, really, if I get a couple of things right. So no one's out of the game just yet. But if you prioritize too much money, you're going to end up 1,000 points behind, right? And you're not going to have optimal players on court and you're not going to be chasing the right primos because you're going to be prioritizing cash. And then it's so far, the gap is so big, you can't even make that up. When you get to week 10, 11, you've got 10 weeks left to try and make up 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 points. So for me, I'm probably leaning towards points are more important than cash. Just knowing that I think the guys that are making me points will also make money. Because you look at James Harden, he'll make cash this week. He just scored 160. Nikola Jokic has made $3 million already. There's plenty of players at the moment. Like Scotty Barnes will make money this week with an 85 break-even on 4 games. I'm looking at the break-evens. Jalen Johnson's going to make money. All these primos are still making cash.
I want to throw this out to you then, Braino and Mattrix. If you see that let's say Milwaukee, because it's happened already. So Milwaukee have a 4-game week. They've got a back-to-back and Giannis is rested. Does this now start to come into our plans by planning ahead that, they might have a 4-game week, but realistically, he's probably only going to play 3 games. So does this now become part of our, not so much cash gen, but games played? And just because Milwaukee, it says they're going to play 4 games, he's not necessarily going to play 4 games.
Unless I've heard something, I'm not banking on, a guy resting. I'm not planning for people to rest. Unless they are just people that will rest all the time, like your Kawhis or like Zion coming back from a major injury or something like that. I'm not planning in my trades for resting. Of course, I look to see if they're resting, maybe if I'm bringing a guy in, but I'm not trading out somebody because they've got a back-to-back. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's probably where I sit as well on that. I mean, look, we can look at the back end of this week and look at Zion returning from an injury that he spent 3 weeks out on. I reckon there is next to no chance he plays the back-to-back at the end of the week for the Pels. Yeah. So that would impact whether I bring him in. But again, we're looking at Giannis, and a lot of people are trading Giannis. We'll talk about who's going in and out in a moment, but a lot of people are trading Giannis out. I don't know whether you need to, because Giannis is averaging 40.9 points per game. We need to remember what he is doing in the games when he's on the court. It's just injury management. He hasn't gone and done a new injury. We've known about this injury for a while now. So I think the Giannis trade out is a mistake.
To put that in perspective, he's averaging more points per game than Wemby.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he'd probably be the 2nd or 3rd highest scorer this year, per game. And he's only, missed 2 games. And everyone's panicking, making out like he's super injured. And yes, he's going to be questionable every game. I can promise you that. He will be questionable, probable, every single game that he plays this year. That's just the way that things roll. But I think, for me, you can't a lot of people trading Wemby out, which is another different conversation altogether, but you can't trade both. I've seen people trading Wemby and Giannis. They're like 2 of the top 4 players in the game. And if you've got them both, I think that only one can go. So
think about how hard it's going to be to get 2 guys like that back in later on. That's probably where I sit with it.
100%. I completely agree. We had to move chess pieces as well to get Jokic. And I'm sure everybody had to do the same thing where you had to go and trade out bloody 2 decent options to even just to be able to afford Jokic, and then you had to pick up the scraps later. So for me, I'm looking at it going, I want to keep that price point. Giannis also, we need to remember as well, 3-game week this week for Giannis, but then comes into 2 4s. Now, he might not play all 4 games, but what if he does? No one knows here that he's going to sit on any of these games. So I'm with Matty. I'm not predicting injuries. I'm not trading players out because I think they're going to be rested. I'm trading them out because I don't like their scoring output or I don't think they're a good option. But yeah, for me, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I think Giannis as a whole, we'll talk about him a little bit later on. But guys, let's move into the trade target, shall we? Have a chat about who to bring in and out this week.
Target acquired.
All right, let's talk most purchased player, and that is Dennis Jenkins from the Detroit Pistons. I did not think that he was going to be the most purchased player. 7.1% of people are bringing him in, 2,312 players. Minus 36 break even, I understand it. Why should people err on the side of caution here, Horse?
I don't think I've ever met a Dennis in my life.
I know,
but that's not why you shouldn't pick him. It's because Jaren's back next game. Cade Cunningham will be back. His spot in the rotation will be lost. And yes, he's got a minus 36 break even, but he's just as likely to score 36 next week in all the games that he plays in.
It's the role's a question mark, Mattrix, isn't it? Like, you know, if Cade's back, he just becomes relatively irrelevant for the most part.
Not even relatively irrelevant. Can I tell you how he was going before Cade played? He played 0 minutes. He played 5 minutes. He played 0 minutes. He played 0 minutes. He played 0 minutes. He played 3 minutes. Like, the guy's just not even going to play.
Yeah, well, we see Cade's usage. So, anyway, minus 36 break even. If he gets on court and gets to play those 3 minutes, you enjoy that 30K that you're going to make from him this week. And no, we're not talking about NRL SuperCoach where 30K is good. We're talking about a guy worth 4.38 million. So
can I just say right now, as it stands, the 9th most popular trade is Dennis Jenkins in, Giannis out.
That's fun. That's a good time. You know what? That's great because I'm looking to climb the rankings. They're helping.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're predicting injuries and Giannis isn't going to play any games, then Dennis Jenkins has a chance of scoring more.
I was going to say, yeah, I agree with that, first of all. But secondly, I didn't know that it was Halloween still at your house. I hear a lot of screaming going on in the background. You must be having a great time.
Yeah, we've had gastro for 2 days, so it's great.
That's rotten. Yeah, no good. Let's talk number 2, Jalen Johnson. 18 million on the dot. He's gone up 780K, so still very well within reach. He's got a 75 break even. He's on a 4-game week. The Atlanta Hawks have a nice month run of games. It's hard to leave him out now, knowing that Trey's still going to be out for at least another week minimum. What do you reckon, Horse?
Buy him. He's such a fun watch. Does it on the defensive end, can score, and he scores efficiently too. Those putback jams, he's one of the best in the NBA at it. Just makes his way through the paint from the weak side. Rebounds the ball, he assists the ball. His usage is up since Trae Young's been out. I could go on all day. He's one of my favourite players to watch, and I know you're an Atlanta Hawks man, Braino, and you love watching him play, but yeah, genuinely a massive fan of this guy.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's fun. I think it's, like I said earlier, Trey or no Trey, that doesn't affect me. That doesn't matter. He's the number 2 or the number 1, and in either way that goes. We saw him put up 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, and 7 steals in one game.
And a block.
That score, that kind of box score has never ever been matched in NBA history, which I think is wild. That it must be a bit of scoregami or something, but like that's kind of cool to tick off in 2025, knowing that hasn't happened. So yeah, huge. And again, we're not just talking about one outlier score. We're talking about him scoring 160 points last week. So he did it more than once. He did it 3 times. So I'm really liking that pick. I agree on that one. He is He is half. He's 50% of the purchases compared to Dennis Jenkins. So anybody getting Jenkins in, I'd probably reverse that and find some extra cash.
I mean, they might be trading down so that they can afford JJ too. So.
maybe. Now, Giannis to Jenkins to go, whoever you've got. Josh Minot to JJ. Yeah, I'm here for it. Scotty Barnes is the third most purchased player. He's at 16.34 million, and obviously the Raptors come into a nice little 3-run games of 4-game weeks in a row. So they've got 12 games over the next 3 weeks. You want a piece of the Raptors horse, don't you? And for me, it's Scotty Barnes as the number 1 option. I
think it has to be. Yeah. Defensively, he gets you really good defensive stats. Shoots the ball efficiently inside the paint, but can go missing from range at times. If anything, it's the field goal percentage that hurts me with Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, not a great free throw guy either, so he might hurt you a tiny bit there. It seems to have improved over the last 12 to 18 months, but for me, I'm probably looking at Scotty Barnes as an option just because he fills the stat sheet. He's very Josh Giddey-esque, isn't he? Like a guy, very similar stat lines. He fills the stat lines. He's a good defender as well. So, yeah, for me, I like players like that. Luka Doncic stat line, but we're not getting as many points from Scotty Barnes.
I really like that DPP small forward point guard rotation that he can do as well. It just adds a little bit to your squad if you decide to go that way.
Yeah, agreed. Same with Josh Giddey as well. He is not in the top 10 most purchased players, which is interesting. Number 4, Nikola Jokic. In the great words of one Mattrix, yes, hope this helps. Just kidding. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is number 5. I assume people are doing Luka to Shai again.
I'll get around that.
Yes. Yeah, just do that. That's fine. And then Larry Markkinen. People are buying Larry Markkinen on a 3-game week. I don't know whether I agree with this. I don't love it.
Is it more for the cash gen people looking at with a break even of 17?
Likely.
I don't like it on a 3-game week.
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying him, you have to play him. You can't just have him on the bench at 13 mil, which again is fine. Like Larry Markkinen on a 3-game week could score 100. So I understand the pick, but again, you're talking about buying him at the highest of highs, and I think there's going to be a bit of a drop off soon enough. So we'll see if he can keep up that usage. James Harden, we call him Shea Light, I reckon. Even though he outscored him last week, I don't think that's going to happen every week, realistically. They're both on a 4-game week. I think Shea outdoes him this week. But you're saving 5 mil. That 5 mil can go a long way, Mattrix, to other things. Who's your pick? Is it Harden or Shea if you had to pick this week?
Yeah, and that's not the question. It's what you're doing with the extra 5 mil. Like, is it getting, instead of getting a Denise Jenkins, are you getting a Jeremiah Fears? And that, to me, might be worth, like, if you have to play both these guys, like, that to me might be worth the hit that you might take with Harden. I think Shea's like set and forget, and like definitely like the most obvious buy. If you've gone Shea to Luka or held Luka through this period, like it's just so easy to go Luka to Shea. But if you do need that money to do other things and it saves you a boost, look, you are probably just as high of a chance of scoring as well with James Harden compared to Shea. So, but I do. Let me look it up. I really liked Shea's schedule this week. OKC schedule had a great run. They are playing the Pelicans, the Kings, the Jazz. What is it?
Portland.
Pelicans, the Kings, the Jazz, and then Portland. Like strength of schedule, it's the best week for Shea.
But the problem with strength of schedule is he plays 3 quarters a game. Like he doesn't ever play the fourth quarter. I reckon he has sat at least 7 or 8 fourth quarters this year, just because OKC blow out every team. So he's scoring fine in 3 quarters, so that's not an issue. But fuck, it'd be so much more if he actually played a full game.
He's still averaging 33.6 minutes per game. Like I was getting a little chub and bumping the bottom of my desk looking at Scotty Barnes playing over 30 minutes in every game. It's the same.
Yeah. They just try and blow him out. That's the goal, I reckon. They're probably just going to try and blow out every team as quick as possible and let him sit in the fourth. So I get it. Derek Queen, starting centre, dare we say. Now, obviously, a changing coach in the first game that he coaches, he puts Derek Queen at centre. We said in the fantasy preview, Horse, we weren't quite sure what that'd look like with Zion Williamson in the team because they were kind of leaning away from playing those guys together on court at the same time just because they've got similar skill sets. So that's probably one thing to keep an eye on. But when you isolate Derek Queen as a player and look at his role, he's a really good pick this week.
Yeah, love it. If you didn't grab him last week, this week is the week to grab him. Otherwise, he may start to get a little bit too expensive.
The 9th and 10th, Con Knipple and Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey looks like he's got the starting gig. Do not panic about today. Was it today or yesterday? He played 10 minutes and fouled out. Yeah, 10 minutes and fouled out. So, one thing for those of you that don't follow NBA or basketball super close, when you see low minutes, don't originally just think that that's going to be an injury. Go and just swipe across and have a look at fouls because often players get in foul trouble and they end up getting benched and then their minutes just look like shit. So, for Ace Bailey, fouled out in 10 minutes. That's quite an achievement to foul out in 10 minutes. I think the only person that is capable of doing that would be Mattrix.
I have done it. Fouled out in 17 minutes in a grand final about 10 weeks ago. So,
perform when it matters, eh? Very good.
What did I get? I got the tech foul didn't help when I elbowed someone in the head, and then gave them a spray for it for having their head in the wrong spot.
That sounds like a very true story. So, I can get around that. Let's have a chat about most traded out players. Cedric Coward tops the list. This actually really surprises me. Cedric Coward, 8 mil. Memphis on a 3-game week this week, horse, but minus 4% ownership. 1,276 people have just said enough's enough. I'm over it. I'm done. What do you reckon?
I can see it. And Memphis is Mattrix is the Memphis man. He might be in a better position to answer this than I, but they have no point guards. They've got no one to run the offense. So it's sort of a bit of ISO ball going on and a few forced shots going on there at Memphis, which means if you're forcing your shot and you miss your shot, there's your negative stats. And yeah, I can see why people are selling.
No, so last game, Jar went out and they went back to like this completely different lineup. Like he did just get the start. He got his first start in that game that Jar got injured, and I reckon the coach panicked a little bit. Like the team just started to look really good with Cedric in the lineup, with Jar there, with Zach Eady. I don't know. I reckon that they'll go back to the drawing board, and they just didn't want to trust a rookie in like this whole reshuffle that they did. They just gave the ball to like Vince Williams. KCP had a relatively good game, who had slid to the bench for Cedric Coward. I think he'll be just completely fine.
The usage will increase, but then his efficiency will probably cop a little bit of a hit. He's a good rebounder though, so he'll probably make up for missed shots in the extra rebounds he'll get. So
I don't know with Jock and Edie swapping either though.
Yeah, that's always. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. isn't really a conversation to have because he doesn't rebound. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I think maybe he's worth another look. 39 break even though on a 3-game week. He'll probably cover that, but we're not talking about a huge money maker this week anyway. You can take your money and run, and that's fine. But I've got a decision to make as to whether I want to trade out Coward or Rollins this week. So I'm not actually 100% sure which way I'm going to go yet, but I'm probably leaning Rollins holding just because of Bucks' schedule being 3-4-4 as opposed to Memphis being a 3-4-2. So that's maybe another reason that people are going in that direction. Luka Doncic is the second most sold, which is very obvious. He's on a 2-game week. You can't really hold 22 mil on a 2-game week. Paolo Banchero, he is injured on 16 mil, so completely understand why people are moving him on. VJ Edgecombe, people are selling, Matty. Now, he's on a 4-game week this week. People have just lost the faith in VJ.
He just had a bad week. He's got a 4-game week, had a 2-game week, and maybe like the odd casual fan are looking at the 26 for the week and thinking about trading him out. But I think VJ Edgecombe's a better hold than Cedric Coward and Ryan Rollins, if you wanted me to put it into perspective. So,
if I didn't sell him last week, I probably would have held him this week for that 4-game week and probably happily played him on court. I think we might have had a question in the chat around play VJ. Where was it? I'll try and find it. It's a fair way back. But yeah, it was asking basically, speaking on VJ, where is that comment? I just saw it.
I'll try and find it.
VJ or Rollins. So basically, do we field Rollins on a 3 or VJ on a 4 was the question from Ooh Yeah.
There it is.
I would play VJ comfortably. I have no problem with that, playing him over Rollins on a 3. So I think I'd just take the extra game, personally. Josh Minot, also a sell. Completely understand that. He's lost his role.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, Jordan Walsh takes that over. So, yeah, see you later, Josh Minot. God, that was the best 2 weeks ever. Actually, you know what? He only probably played 2 good games for me in the 2 weeks that I owned him. So, yeah, one we got wrong. I don't think we got it wrong. I think Joe Mazzulla just saw that he was the most traded in player in SuperCoach and just laughed at us all and said, watch this. So I'm sure Joe Mazzulla is a good, he's a SuperCoach player for sure.
I think he's got the Herald Sun subscription, I know. So.
You have SuperCoach Gold for sure.
While you're talking about VJ Edgecombe, boys, the Sir just puts in a really good comment that PJ's day-to-day. So if Paul George comes back or when he comes back, how much is that going to affect VJ Edgecombe's role?
I don't think it does that much.
I think it's just Watford out of the starting 5 and PG goes straight into that role.
Yep.
Yeah, legit. I don't think they are in a position to drop VJ to the bench. VJ has been their second best player this year. Like, you can't go and do that to the bloke now. And Whisperer's in the chat and he's spot on. PG's going to play 15 minutes and die again.
That's like 17 more minutes than Joel Embiid.
You're talking to a bloke who's got Joel Embiid stocks up the wazoo in fantasy at the moment. Poor Josh. Feeling it. He gets 5 notifications every morning. Philly plays saying Joel Embiid is not in your. He's out. He's in your lineup. So it's rough. It's rough being Whisperer. Giannis and Victor Wembanyama are the 5th and 6th most traded. Sorry, 6th and 7th most traded out player. If you had to pick to hold one and trade one, Horse, who are you holding? Who are you trading out of those two?
It's tough, but I'm holding Giannis.
Do you agree,
Yeah,
Matty?
so Wemby's got 2-3 game weeks in a row.
And there's a bit more. I think Wemby's injury cloud is more worrying than Giannis's.
Giannis seems like injury management, whereas, and that's a previous injury that he's had for a while, right? So those knees. Whereas Wemby with a soft tissue is always a concern for me. Whereas we're talking like knee issue, like I don't know. It's hard. I'm with you though. I'm holding Giannis and trading Wemby just due to the schedule. I'd rather take a punt on Giannis potentially playing 4 games. If he rests, and I get 3 from him and he scores 110 like he did this week. And that's completely fine for a guy there's not many players in the league that can play 3 games and score 110. So that's fine. I'll reassess when Giannis comes into a run of 3 game weeks. But at the moment, you've got a pretty nice looking 3-week schedule there. So you can lean on that. Dylan Harper injured, trade out. People are trading out Devin Booker. What's the schedule for the Phoenix Suns look like? It's not that great, is it?
I think it was good up to this point, wasn't it?
So he's got a 3-game week this week into a 4-game week in week 6, 3-2. So 3-4-3-2 is the Suns. So, I mean, fair enough. I think probably people are trading Booker to get to Shea. So that I can understand. But for the most part, I think it's fine. Not really a question. People are sick of AJ Mitchell as well. He's the 10th most traded out player. So that is the trades for this week. Of course, we write up a Pod Watch article every week, so that'll be coming out over the next 12 hours before Game 1. Captaincy article will come out as in addition to, of course, the captaincy stuff that we'll be talking about in a second. And then we've got Buy, Hold, Sell as well. Matty, is that you this week, Buy, Hold, Sell?
It's already out. If you want to hear me glazing a few of my favourite players, read the Buy, Hold, and Sell.
Love it. Let's chat captains then.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
Nikola Jokic. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see. I'm joking, but it is Jokic, legit. Like I don't even know whether it's even worth having the rest of the conversation, Horse. Like it's if you don't have Jokic, buy him. If you don't captain him, put the orange armband on him and just reassess next week.
I genuinely don't think there's anyone else I would even consider putting the captaincy on this week.
I did the captaincy article and it was the great week to start. We just swapped articles, by the way. We do a little 4-week rotation where we change things up in the Patreon, and I got to do the captaincy article for the first time, and literally I reckon I could have written like 5 words. For the sake of it, I put in 3 options in there, and there are probably 3 options, but Jokic by far and away should be captained by everyone who owns him at the moment, and that's 37.7% of SuperCoach. So expect that to be where he lands. I'm interested to look at the top 1% actually. Who else are we looking at, Matty? Is there anybody else that we should genuinely consider?
I did just hit up Shea's schedule earlier, and look, he could go absolutely huge in those. It's hard because Joker seems to go absolutely huge against everyone. But look, this schedule is elite for Shea. Even working in a J-Dub or whatever, Shea just might do a little bit more because obviously it wasn't like I nearly expected Jalen Williams to be back week 2. We're in week 5 and he's still not ready. Look and work out the roles. One guy's role doesn't change in that team, and that's Shea's. So,
yep, agreed. Horse, anybody else kind of jumping out at you?
For those that love taking extreme risks, Jalen Johnson, but it's still Jokic all day.
So don't bother reading the captaincy article. You just heard all 3. So that's and look,
really
only because it's
your article today.
No, trust me, it'll come good in a couple of weeks. But yeah, when the captaincy option is so obvious, you'll get your value in the Patreon by the Buy, Hold, and Sell article, which is going to have probably a couple of pods and Pod Watch Horse. You're on that one for the next month. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the sub 10% own guys that we should be looking at You got a teaser for us?
Yes. Tyrese Maxey.
Ooh, spicy. Little 1 week play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I like it. That and plenty more, guys. You can get on the Patreon, less than $10 a month. You get the WhatsApp chat. You get all of our articles every week. You also get to see our trades and our teams and what we're doing with our team specifically. So if you want to jump in and get involved, then you can. Of course, there is a subscriber-only league where we are giving away much better prizes to the subscribers than we are in our public league. So if you want a little bit of that too, jump on in.
What's the price difference if you win versus whether you're a Patreon subscriber?
Are we talking BBL or NBA?
BBL, sorry.
Well, if we're talking BBL, you get like 2.5 times the money. So, if you want to play BBL, we've got podcasts on that too, but we're here for NBA SuperCoach, so maybe we'll stick to that just for now.
Yeah, okay.
But if you haven't joined yet, it's not too late. So you can join not only the Patreon, but you can join the league as well, the Unlimited League. The code is 817149. So go and chuck that in if you haven't joined that league yet. And you can win a standard squeeze prize pack every single week, like Daniel did this week with his 1190 something score. And you've also got the chance to take it out and win a yearly Patreon subscription on us as well for NBA. So that's worth nearly $250 these days. So get on in, jump on in. We'll close that one off in probably a couple of weeks now. So 2 more weeks to jump in that league and take us on and hopefully win yourself some prizes. Hopefully we've been able to help, guys. Week 5 is just ahead of us now. We've got 12 hours to try and sort our trades out. So make sure you get involved in all of the chat. Thanks for watching and tuning in the live chat. Guys, we'll be back to wrap up the week and talk about week 6 next week. Good luck.
Cheerio.